This week, you will be working on the APA Skills Assessment. So in the first 2 weeks of this course, I have assigned to you different parts of the APA module. This week, in week 3, you will be working on the rest of that APA module. Make sure that you are actually doing everything that's in the module itself. So if there's a game, make sure you play the practice game. If there's a web page, make sure that you look at that. In an online course, you always want to make sure that you have no stone unturned. And we're going to be going back to the pages that you're really going to need for this next upcoming assignment, which is your APA Skills Assessment. The APA Skills Assessment is designed in order for you to be able to practice how to do a complete references page, as well as how to format an embedded citation. And I do it like this because an embedded citation is always going to have parentheses. So if we look at the task, what you're going to be doing for this APA Skills Assessment is you're going to be doing this assessment in 2 parts. It will be on 1 page, but 2 parts, okay? This assessment is worth 25 points, and it is what we call an all or nothing assignment. So what does that mean? That means that the assignment, you will either get 0 points or 25 points. But you can turn in the APA Skills Assessment as many times as you like for up to 2 weeks and continuously work on it until you get it right. The one thing that I will tell you is you want to make sure that you are being very methodical and detailed, because a period here or a comma there or a space there is not going to earn you the full 25 points, okay? So really make sure that you're taking your time with each of these entries. When you return your entry, I'll either give you a 1 or a 25. It's really that simple. The 1 means that you'll need another attempt. Go back in, make sure that you're looking at my comments. I'll tell you exactly what's wrong with it. And then go back into the APA module to learn about what it should look like, what you need to do, and then make that revision and turn it back in. So it takes a little bit of going back and forth, but in the end, it really does help you to focus on the detail of the APA, as well as gets you introduced to how to cite different formats. The reason why we do the APA Skills Assessment is so that you're learning the APA code. When you have a references page, basically what you're doing is you're putting some things in italics. You're having some things capitalized and some things not capitalized. You're having some things in parentheses. And all of that is a universal code for anybody that is reading your essay or reading your research that wants to then go ahead and move forward and read those resources or do their own research using your resources in the future, okay? So really what it is just code talking. That's what we're going for here. Okay. The APA Skills Assessment, the first part is creating a references page. So you're going to be using the 4 articles that are listed here. This comes up as a Word document, okay? And these are the articles that you will be using. So what you're basically doing for part 1 is you are creating a fake practice references page using this article. Okay, it's a database article. Then using another database article. And I'll give you a little hint on this 3rd one. This one is an internet article, but it is an article that is written by a group or organization. So that's a little helpful hint for when you're figuring out how to do that one. And it's going to help you actually in your unit 2 career exploration report. This is the 4th article, which is an internet article, okay? So what you're going to do is essentially you are going to create a references page. Times New Roman font, 12-point font, making sure that you have references centered in the beginning, in the middle of the page, as well as in bold. Remember that your 4 entries need to be then in alphabetical order, double spaced with a hanging indent, and you're going to be using the APA resources module in order to help you. So your references page is going to simply just look just like this. This is what part 1 looks like. Part 2, these are the directions for part 2, okay? In part 2, you're going to be using those same 4 articles, okay? So you'll use Article 1, which is Millennials and Gender in an Era of Growing Inequality. In order to create, I'm sorry, got to get on my page. In order to create a citation, if you were just paraphrasing information. So I want you to take a look at the embedded citations page, and I want you then to just, what would the information be just in those parentheses, okay? Article 2, how would you format a citation when paraphrasing information? So this one might be a little bit different for Article 2, because if I look at the second article, okay, this one might be a little bit different. I don't know. I've got to see what's a little different about it. It has one author. It has a year, or does it not have a year? Interesting. This first one has a lot of authors. Does it have a date? I think it might. So when we look at these kinds of ideas, Article 2 does have a date. You want to kind of see what's a little bit different about it. Notice Article 1 has multiple authors. Article 2 has only one author. What's the difference? How do you change that up? Okay. The next thing that I want to take a look at then is the next set of directions. So using Article 3, how would you format a citation when paraphrasing information the first time? And then number 4, you're using Article 3 again, and you would be doing a direct quote. So using, how would you do it for a second citation? So that's going to be a little bit tricky. When you are citing, when you are citing from an author that is a group that has some kind of like CDC, right? We don't call it the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, right? We call it the CDC. That's a helpful hint. The first time that you are doing an organization citation, embedded citation, do you need to write out the whole thing? Do you need to write out the whole thing for the second time that you use it? So make sure that you're paying attention to that as well. The 5th direction uses the 4th article. So you're going to format a citation when paraphrasing information. So I'm going to look at this again, and I'm going to say, okay, what's a little bit different? Something's got to be different, right? And when I look at this, does it have an author? Does it have a date? What's missing from it that I might need, that might be a special case that's different from numbers 1 and 2? Okay? When you then actually write out your part 2, this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to just put it all together. I'm going to put part 2, and then I'm going to write the embedded citation. I'm going to number it 1 to 5, and that's all I need. I don't need a quote. I don't need a paraphrase. I just need what would be in those parentheses. Okay? Remember, you're creating a mock references page as if this was your essay and these were the references you were using. And then you're demonstrating your skill of embedded citations. Now, where do I need to look when I'm looking for APA and figuring out the content? I'm going into Table of Contents now. And the pages that I really want to make sure I'm looking at are, how do I create references? How do I find the information that I need? How do I cite my sources in my writing? If I look at how do I create references, notice this is what a references page should look like. I might point out here that maybe the APA, American Psychological Association, right? That's what APA is. Maybe that's a group. I don't know. Author, maybe. Hint, hint. But if I'm looking at a references page and I'm looking at this as my primary example, notice that I can actually take a look at these question marks and they're going to pop up with some inferences or some information for me. Okay? When I actually go to then turn in my assignment, it's a matching game. Does my assignment look like this one? Okay, so make sure that you've got that hanging indent, that you have your date and your periods in the right place, what is going to be capitalized, what is not going to be capitalized, what is in italics, what is not in italics. All of those things are going to be important, okay? So if you have not been able to do a hanging indent yet, you have information on how to do the hanging indent. How do I format different entries? So you can click on each of these sources, okay? And you can kind of see how you are going to then cite your resources, okay? You also have a little refresher where you can then practice and test your knowledge before you do anything with this assignment, okay? The other page that I want to make sure I'm directing you to is how do I find the information I need? That's going to be important as to, is this a database? Is this an internet article? Is this an internet article by a group? And then how do I cite my sources in my writing? This is going to be important for your embedded citations, okay? How do I check my APA style is going to help you before you even turn in your assignment, to help you format, just to give you a little checker. You know, make sure that you're looking, and you can actually go through this this little escape room to make sure that you are checking your work, okay? There is also a formatting guide here in the APA style checklists right here in this web page. The APA formatting guide, if there is something that you cannot find, use that guide. Everything is here for you. You just have to be able to look for it, okay? All right, that's everything for the APA style resources. Let's go back into the APA assessment itself, and let's just make sure that I've covered everything that you need to understand. Okay, so if I go into my APA skills assessment, I can actually turn in my APA skills assessment right on the directions page. I gave you an example of an old APA skills assessment, okay? Do not follow this, like the guide here. Like, this is done in version 6. We are in edition number 7. So these are actually incorrect, but I just wanted you to be able to see what it looks like once it's all completed, okay? So this is just a visual. Do not follow the guidelines on here. Just kind of make sure that you are taking a look at the formatting, okay? So hanging indent, alphabetized, you know, this is what part 2 should look like. So that's what that's for, okay? All right, I think that that's everything. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Your assignment is due this week, the first pass, and then you have 2 weeks with which you may consistently turn in your assignment, make those changes, look at the feedback, and then I'll help you out from there. Okay? This is a little longer than I expected. Sorry, guys. Have an awesome week, and I look forward to seeing your work.